What is something that you wish to accomplish or that you wish to kind of make clear to everybody?
Well, personally, with my with the Uyghur Human Rights Project, there are a couple bills in Congress right now, in Senate and the House of Representatives, that protect the Uyghurs in China, the Uyghur Human Rights Act. And so I got with this organization to be able to help in some way to get those bills to be passed and to get it signed by President Donald Trump.
Congressman Wolf.
The Saudi government has published textbooks with anti-Semitic and anti-Christian literature. In my former congressional district, the Saudis run a school, the Saudi Academy, where the hatred in the textbooks. The Saudis funded most of the madrasas that were up on the Afghan-Pakistan border, many that led to what took place in 9/11, and a number of the people who were killed in 9/11 were from my congressional district. And so the Saudi government ought not have representation up on Capitol Hill, particularly when they're representing and funding radical Wahhabism around the world. With regard to China, every faith group in China is being persecuted. 140 or more Tibetan monks and nuns have poured kerosene on their bodies and set themselves aflame in protest of what the Chinese government. What the Chinese government doing is basically cultural genocide with regard to the Tibetan people. And with regard to the Uyghur Muslims, up to 3 million Uyghur Muslims are in detention or concentration camps. They're literally trying to eradicate them. And lastly, we all know the Falun Gong. There are reports out of Freedom House known as the Falun Gong have been used for organ harvesting with regard to selling the organs. So what is taking place in China? What is taking place in Saudi Arabia and these other countries? Really, they do not deserve a representation up on Capitol Hill.
To talk a little bit about this, we have two representatives of the Uyghur community in East Turkestan, the western part of China today. The first will be Salih Hudayar, who is with the East Turkestan National Awakening Movement. Salih.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Frank and Save the Persecuted Christians for organizing this rally to speak up for freedoms, human rights, and of course religious freedom all across the world. What the Chinese government is doing in East Turkestan, or what they call Xinjiang, locking up over 3 million people in concentration camps, according to the UN Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, and according to the Defense Department. So why is China locking up people in these concentration camps? Because of their ethnic and religious identity. In these camps, people are being forced to denounce their religious and ethnic identity. They're being forced to embrace Chinese communist ideology. This oppression, though it's starting here in East Turkestan, we can see it expanding to other parts of China and its occupied territories. You can see that the Chinese government is now setting up concentration camps across Tibet. They're destroying Tibetan temples, they're destroying churches, and they're arresting and persecuting Christians as well. This message is something that needs to be carried on by all leaders that value human rights, that value religious freedom, especially from all faiths, including Christian leaders, Muslim leaders, Buddhist leaders, and leaders of other faiths.